Today we're going to be looking at lesson 5.5, so please make sure you are on page 261 in your book. At the top, let's look at our Icam statement. I can use strategies to solve word problems that involve multiplication and division. I can also choose and use a math tool to solve problems. So we're going to think about how we can use appropriate tools to help solve the problem. When you think of tools, we can think about multiplication, division, bar diagrams, pictures, equations, all these different strategies we've been practicing to solve the problem. Let's look at our word problem. At the Fall Fest Parade, members of the Cat Lovers Club and the Dog Lovers Club will march in equal rows. There will be 6 members in each row. I'm going to underline that part because I know it will be important to solving the problem later on. How many rows of dog lovers will march in the parade, and how many total cat lovers will march in the parade? So they want us to fill in these numbers in the chart. So we know there are 24 members in the dog lovers group. The cat lovers, they want us to figure out how many total members there are, but we know that there will be 5 rows. If I look back at my problem, I see that there will be 6 members in each row. So I can think about if I have 5 rows, I know I'll have 6 in each row. I know 5 times 6, I can think 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I know there will be 30 cat lovers altogether. So that solves part of our problem. So we can write 30 here. Now we want to figure out how many dog lovers there are. We know there are 24 total. And we know we're going to put 6 in each row. So we can think about 24 divided by 6 equals what? So for my multiplication problem, I can think 6 times what equals 24. I know 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18, 6 times 4 is 24. So I know that 24 divided by 6 will give us 4. So in the chart, we can write 4 up at the top. Let's look at our next page. And when we're doing word problems, we want to make sure we read through them a couple of times to make sure we know all the information. Let's look at part A. Gina has 45 hats. I'm going to underline that part because I know that'll be her total. She's packing them by putting 9 hats in each of several boxes. How many boxes will she fill? Drawing pictures and writing equations can help you when solving multiplication and division problems. So they show a bar diagram first. They know they have 45 total. They wrote that at the top, 9 in each box. So one way we could think about 45 divided by what number equals 9? I know 45 divided by 5 equals 9. So there are 5 groups of 9 in 45. Gina can divide 45 hats into 5 boxes of 9 hats. We can also think about a related fact. 9 times what number equals 45? I know 9 times 5 equals 45. So she will have 5 boxes with 9 hats in each. Let's look at the bottom. Convince me, generalize. Gina instead has 42 hats. She's putting 6 hats in each of several boxes. Can you find how many boxes she needs using the same strategies in the example above? So we can think about the part C that they did the one way. We thought about 42 divided by what equals 6. So then when we think of multiplication, we can think 6 times what equals 42. I know 6 times 7 is 42. So I know that she will need 7 boxes. She puts 6 in each box to get to 42. We're going to skip number 1 and 2. We're going to look at number 3. We want to represent the problem with an equation or a bar diagram. A checkerboard has 64 squares. So we can think about we'd have 64 if we're doing a bar diagram, and that would be at the top for our total. And we draw our rectangle. It has 8 rows. How many columns does it have? So we could split this into 8. So I'm just put it in half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I know that there'll be 8. I know that we have 8 groups, and we're thinking how many in each group. So we're thinking 64 divided by 8 equals, and I know 8 times 8 is 64, so I know there would be 8 columns. Number 4 and 5, we want to draw a bar diagram. Number 4, there are 5 pancakes in a stack. So I'm going to try that again. There are 5 pancakes in a stack. Elise makes 40 pancakes. How many stacks does Elise make? So we know 40 pancakes. We know we're going to put 5 in each. So I'm going to think about 5 times what equals 40. I know 5 times 8 equals 40. So now I know down here I will split it into 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. There'll be 5 in each. Not quite even, but that's okay. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I know that 40 divided by 5 per stack would give us 8 stacks. I'm going to erase this one so I have more room for my next one. You can always pause the video and go back if you need to write that down again. Let's look at number 5. A park has 4 swing sets. Each of the sets has 7 swings. How many swings are in the park? So we know there are 4 sets. Split it into 4 sections, but there are 7 swings on each. So this time I'm trying to find my total at the top. So I can think about 4 times 7 equals what? I know 4 times 7 is 28. So there are 28 swings altogether. So to be careful when we're reading these problems to make sure they're giving us the total or the parts so that we are solving for the correct answer. Number 6 and 7, they want us to write an equation with an unknown to represent the problem and then solve. Number 6, Mrs. Jameson plants 30 tulips in rows. Each row has 6 tulips. How many rows does Miss Jameson plant? So we know 30. We know each one is going to have 6. So I'm thinking about 6 times what equals 30. 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18, 6 times 4 is 24, 6 times 5 is 30, so I know that there will be 5 rows. Number 7, Bonnie buys 6 paperback books every month. She buys 2 hardcover books every month. How many books does she buy in 4 months? So this one's kind of 2 parts. We know she buys 6 paperback and 2 hardcover, so she's actually buying 8 books each month total. How many books does she buy in 4 months? So we know 8 per month times 4 months. 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 3 is 24, 8 times 4 is 32. So we know she's going to buy 32 books all together. We're going to do one more in the back, or a couple more in the back. We're going to go down to the bottom for this. We're going to skip some of these top ones. We're going to do 12. 8 vans are going to the zoo. There are 6 children in each van. So part A, how many children are going to the zoo? Write an equation that could be used to solve the answer to this problem and solve the equation. So we know there's 8 vans with 6 in each. 8 times 6. I know 8 times 5 is 40, so I just add one more group of 8 to get 48. So we know 48 kids are going to the zoo. Part B, instead of 9 vans going to the zoo, explain how you could use what you know from part. If instead 9 vans go to the zoo, explain how you can use what you know from part A to find how many children are going to the zoo. So we know it's going to be more than 48 because there are more vans. So then if I have 9 and there are still 6 per van, and I'm going to have more students, more kids. So this time there'd be 54 kids, or 8 more than before, 6 more than before, because there's one more group. There are 6 in each group. Your job will be to complete the homework and practice. So I want you to do number 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and then on the back, I'm going to have you complete number 5, 7, and 10. So that was 5, 7, and 10, and then send me a picture. Thank you.